Thank you, Attorney-General. Senator Lindgren.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Senator Scullion. Will the Minister update the Senate on how the government's remote school attendance strategy is delivering on this government's commitment to get more children into schools into remote communities?
The Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Senator Scullion.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the Senator for that question and acknowledge her keen interest in improving educational outcomes for our children, a passion that she has brought to this place with some 20 years' experience as an educator. When we came to government, we found that there has been no improvement in very poor school attendance rates in most remote Indigenous communities. In fact, we found that from 2007, attendance was dropping in many places. While some may wash their hands and say this is a state and territory government responsibility, which it is, it was clear that a new approach was needed, so this government acted decisively. In 2014, the government introduced a remote school attendance strategy to improve school attendance. School attendance officers are now operating in 73 schools in 69 communities, and I'm pleased to report, while still have a long way to go, we're making real progress. In the Northern Territory, attendance rates at government schools have increased. For example, the attendance rates at both Nooka and Alikurung schools rose by 15% from Term 2 2013 to Term 2 in 2015. And in Senator Lindgren's home state in Queensland, government asked our schools the number of children attending school increased by 12% over the same period of time. We've all seen a number of individual schools in West Australia and South Australia with large increases. This government is committed to the challenge of making sure children go to school and building on the progress that has already been made. That's why I have recently announced an additional $80 million to extend the remote school attendance strategy for a further 3 years until the end of 2018.
Thank you, Minister. Supplementary question, Senator Lindgren.
Thank you. Why is it important that the Commonwealth prioritises improvements to school attendance in remote communities?
Minister.
Mr President, we all recognise that a good education is a foundation to a healthy and a successful life. We know that the evidence says that if you're not attending school at least 90% of the time, you're not retaining the information you need to get a proper education. A West Australian study has found that as much as 1/3 of the gap in educational attainment between Indigenous and non-Indigenous children could be attributed to poorer rates of school attendance for Indigenous children. A good education leads to good employment opportunities, supports a healthy and a safe community. Whilst there's been a lot of talk around this place of targets and aspirations, we on this side of the chamber recognise that the most effective way to deliver better outcomes for Indigenous Australians is to work on the ground with communities to deliver practical solutions. The remote school attendance strategy is a community-driven strategy, and this kind of improvement is only possible when all of us, schools, parents, families, RSAS teams, local organisations, work together to get these kids to school.
Senator Lindgren, final supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Can the Minister also advise how the remote school attendance strategy is supporting local Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people into real jobs?
Minister.
Mr President, again I thank the Senator for that question, and I'm pleased to report that the remote school attendance strategy is providing real jobs for many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in remote communities across Australia. There are currently over 500 local community members employed as school attendance supervisors and school attendance officers across the 73 communities that the strategy is operating in. These attendance officers are all local people at the front line of their efforts to get children attending school who know their communities. It's been a great privilege of my job to spend time with them and see their determination. And I must say the most pleasing aspect of this has been the number of school attendance officers that have been poached by other organisations in the community. That, of course, has been a real starting point to begin a great career. From Donald in Yirrkala to Lenny in Halls Creek, school attendance officers are doing such a great job, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them for the fantastic work they're doing for their communities.
Thank you.